Hey everyone, I just wanted to say thank you for all the encouragement and congratulations for my 90-pound badge today. So for those of you who don't know, I've been doing the keto diet, and today it's been 5 months and 14 days. Yes, I've been counting because I've been aiming for that 100 pounds lost. I got my 90-pound Fitbit badge today, so I am super excited. Coming down from a size 22 to a size 8 in less than, 6 months is huge for me because, 6 months ago, 5 months ago, I would have never thought I would have been, able to be the size. And I'm finally starting to come to terms with, being able to accept myself in my own skin. It's still kind of a challenge here and there, because I still see a lot of the imperfections. And I think that's with anyone, especially when were heavier at one point in your life, and, all of a sudden you're like, okay, does this look okay? Do I look okay in tight clothes? It's a hard thing to accept. And, it's even harder to, go through life every day. And then you always have people making comments about how good you look. And, so it's a challenge either way. Like, you're feeling better about yourself, but then yet, everyone's noticing you. So I think the whole thing about being noticed is like the hardest part about losing weight. But anyways, I've had a lot of people ask me what exactly I've been doing. And I'm honestly not really doing anything different than what a lot of you are doing. During my journey, I learned that, with the macronutrients, with the ketogenic diet, protein is your goal. I always try to make sure I hit my protein goal. Sometimes I'm a little bit short, sometimes I'm a little bit over. I don't kick myself for it. As far as the fat, I don't go out of my way to make sure I'm getting extra fat, because fat is, I consider that like a limit. So I watch it, but then I don't go out of the way and have like half a stick of butter. I won't do that because I have fat to lose and I'm not trying to give myself any more. But I will use fat, like in my cooking. I'll use bacon grease, I'll use the Kerrygold butter. But I really don't overdo it. I mean, I use what I need and that is it. Occasionally I will have my bulletproof coffee, hence the name, blending bulletproof. And I'll use it with MCT oil. It does give me like a quick boost of energy. It's like drinking a Monster, maybe like a Monster on steroids. So I'll do that. As far as carbs, I stick with the 20 carbs or under. I give myself a 5 carb leeway for like my coffee creamers and stuff that says 0 carbs or under. I've probably been adapted for a while, so I could probably go a little bit higher with the carbohydrate limit, but I choose to try to limit myself to 20 or under. And most of my carbs, they come from, dark green veggies and salad and, like some of the other things I eat on a typical daily basis. When I wake up for work, I plan on doing intermittent fasting or IF. Just because it's easier for me on the days I work. So I wake up, I have my coffee. I use in my coffee, I don't like heavy whipping cream. I'm not a fan of heavy whipping cream at all. I started that when I first started and it was just so heavy on my stomach. I went to Starbucks one morning and I really wanted a caramel macchiato. So I ordered a sugar-free caramel macchiato with heavy whipping cream, and God knows that was horrible. It was fine while it was hot, but then after it started cooling down, it was like sludge. So it was absolutely disgusting. And after that, I was just like, no more heavy whipping cream. So, I work with a dietitian also, and, she gives me some tips here and there that can be helpful. Other stuff I really tried and I found they didn't work. They caused me to stall. So I take things from, different places. Some of the things I've learned from friends, some of the things I've learned from my doctors, and some of the things I know from being a nurse. So I kind of, I have a little bit of my own thing going on, but it works for me. And so anyways, well, I don't even remember what I was saying. So I was talking with my dietitian, and she showed me some products that I could use as an alternative for heavy whipping cream in my coffee. I'm actually drinking my morning coffee. You know, I've been sipping on it all morning. I just use, I went on Amazon.com and I ordered a case of those little cups of coffee made, the plain stuff, because I use maybe four in my coffee every morning, and they are it's supposedly zero carbs for 0.11 of an ounce, and that's fine for me. I usually use I don't like Swerve in my coffee because it gets really gritty, so I use 2 to 3 packets of like generic Equal or something like that. Works. And I usually only have 1 cup. If I want the MCT oil in my cup, because if I'm feeling extra tired, I'll add 1 tablespoon, and that's my bulletproof. Sometimes I'll do it with the Kerrygold butter. You know, usually I'm in a hurry, so I don't have time to throw it in the blender, so I just kind of, you know, throw it in there and mix it up really good. But you know, to each his own on how you do your bulletproof. I do it once in a while just for the little bit of energy, and I tend to I had some the other morning and I was bouncing off the walls, so it really works when you know, need that little extra energy. And if you're new to it, go slow. Otherwise you'll be in the bathroom all day. So that's like my typical morning. Sometimes I'll have breakfast, sometimes I won't. It just depends on how I feel. I only eat when I'm hungry. You know, if I do have breakfast, sometimes it's a Quest bar if I'm in a hurry. You know, I stick with the ones that are 4 net carbs or less. I don't do it every day. It's fake food. So it's just one of those things I try to keep on hand for grab on the go. I'd rather have something in my stomach if I'm hungry than not have anything. If I have time, I'll make like 3 eggs scrambled. I'll mix some cheese in the morning. Some just microwave sausage patties, and I'll make like a sandwich. You know, stuff like that. Grab and go stuff. I try to make it quick, easy. I do a lot of my cooking in the microwave. For lunch, excuse me. On the days I work, I usually make a salad. It's a high protein salad. So I try to get all my protein in during my window. Because like I said, I fast on these days. My window from when I first wake up to when I stop eating every day. I have lunch at noon. All my coworkers make fun of me because they're like, okay, Erica, you know, your lunch is at noon. We know this already. You don't have to ask. So I try to eat before 12:30, you know, when I am at work. And then I don't eat until the next morning when I wake up. So it turns out to be like a 16:8, maybe like it varies, but somewhere around there. Because I usually wake up at 5 and I have my coffee and stuff around 5. You know, breakfast is usually about 6. You know, so it will vary, but you know, it's generally like that. Some mornings I wake up like 10 o'clock, so it could be a little bit longer. So I do that, and then on my regular days off, I eat, you know, I don't eat breakfast most of the time. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. It usually depends on my husband if he decides he wants to make bacon and eggs. So we usually do that the bacon and eggs in the morning. I'll have like 4 strips of bacon and 3 eggs, and I've been eating bacon so long I could tolerate not having any more than that. I'll use sugar-free syrup to dip my bacon in. I love syrup on my bacon. We'll do our eggs like sunny side up, fried in butter. I haven't done that in a while, but usually we would do that like once or twice a week. Other days I'll make like keto French toast or keto pancakes using the cream cheese, and I'll add a little bit of almond flour and egg. So if you Google that recipe, I'm sure you'll find like a dozen talking about keto pancakes and keto French toast. There's a couple different recipes. And I've been mixing it up, playing with my recipes. I use like unflavored whey protein, or like I'll add almond flour just for like a little bit more texture. You can do a lot of stuff with different ingredients that you would never think that you could actually bake with. So it's actually kind of cool. You know, the biggest thing is just have fun with it. You know, I made like an awesome chocolate. I told my last video I did, I was talking about my chocolate cake, and I actually put one in the fridge and I had it for breakfast the next morning, and it was like the best chocolate muffin ever. It was like super moist, and how muffins typically like crumble. This one didn't. It was just really, really good. Better cold than it was warm. So I plan on trying to recreate that recipe, and hopefully I'll get it posted. But so just have fun with it, make whatever, there's an alternative for everything, even pizza. I will on occasion use like the low carb flat out wraps. I know a lot of keto people who eat keto are kind of big on the no grains. I sort of follow the whole thing. If it fits in your macros, you could eat it. I don't want to build up an intolerance to the grains. So, because that can happen like over time, from my understanding from speaking with my doctors and my dietitians. So I will incorporate like a little bit here and there, just a little bit. It really, I don't think it's going to hurt anything. And for those of you who disagree with me, that's totally you. But, I will eat my flat out wraps like on occasion. I don't usually do more than one a week. But with those, you could make pizzas. You could do, today I had a quesadilla for lunch, and I was totally happy with that. It was so good. And like one of those wraps is like 7 net carbs. And I'm really not hungry, and I probably won't be hungry the rest of the day. I have to kind of fight to get my macros met. Generally, I'm just not hungry, and I only eat when I'm hungry, and I think that's one of the big contributors. I tend to stall when I don't eat, so I kind of have to push myself to meet my goals, so just to make sure I'm getting enough nutrients and everything. So that's pretty much it. I mean, like, I'll make things like hamburgers. I do a lot of stir fries with the miracle noodles and the shirataki noodles. You could get those at the regular grocery store. I order the miracle noodles off Amazon. They're a lot cheaper than going to like a health food store. I eat a lot of spinach. I'm not a big, I love kale, but it's higher in carbs, so I tend to stick with spinach, and I load it up with butter, and I like that, if I'm saying it right, Saison stuff seasoning mixed in. I'll use a packet of that because it tastes really good. And that will be one meal for me. It's like a big bowl of spinach. Yes, I'm weird, but even when I was pregnant with my daughter, and not following this diet at the time, I would eat an entire bag of peas with garlic, a huge bag of peas, and I would do 1 or 2 of those. And to this day, like, she loves peas. I still love peas, and I hate that I can't really eat them because they are full of sugars. But, I am a big veggie eater, so, any questions, please feel free to comment. I'd love to hear your feedback, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll be posting a lot more. I hope to give you guys ideas on recipes and show you exactly what I'm making, and just show you a little bit of my daily life, because I've had so much success with this, and honestly I just want to cry because I didn't think it was going to work. Everyone kept saying my last option, because I couldn't get my weight under control, was gastric bypass, and I'm like, I really don't want to do that to my body. I really think there's a better way. I've tried crash diets. I've tried, I was crazy enough at one point to believe that those negative food, diets worked. So I would find myself eating like parsley, like a tabbouleh, like every day with like a high fiber beverage, and I'm like, I'm miserable. I'm not eating the things I like, but yet now I'm going to Buffalo Wild Wings, a couple times a month, and I'm having like a dozen wings. So I'm very happy because I could still eat the things I like, even pizza. There's just an alternative for everything out there. You just got to look for it. And if not, try to create it. So, like I said, any questions, please comment. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I'd love to hear your feedback, and I'd love to help any way I can. I'm not a pro, like, there's quite a few people who've been doing this for a long time, but I'll do what I can to help you in any way, just from my experience. I might not be right. I might not be the best person to ask, and I might have to ask stuff now and again myself just to get things straight. I had so many problems with my electrolytes and my vitamins and everything when I first started, and I still run into issues nowadays. My last one was bruising. I was covered with bruises and I couldn't figure out why, so I asked and talked to my doctor, and I had some lab work drawn, and the labs came back fine. So a lot of people were suggesting vitamin C, so I added vitamin C, and hey, guess what? My bruises are gone. So you know, between the vitamin C and like iron, and I'll talk about in a different video what supplements I use on a daily basis, just to keep myself healthy on another day. So, all right, well, I hope you guys had a good day, and don't forget to comment. All right, thanks. Bye.